Okay, looking like we are live, up and running. Hello to anyone and everyone. Welcome back to the Fast Renegade Pro Cup Series. It is race 37 of 37. It's come down to this. This is for all the marbles. Playoff format has brought us to this point. This championship night, and one of three drivers will emerge with the crown. We've got Zach Rogers, Randall Coleman, and Dunn LaPrade all gunning for that title. Top finisher, just like in real life, top finisher will get it done. So, who will that be? Well, we will find out in 110 laps time here at Phoenix. And to call it with me once again here, a man that has joined me for the last several fast races, and happy to say that he's becoming more of a regular with these online commentaries. Caleb Rose, once again, man, such a blast to have you up here again. And hey, man, we got champion to crown tonight.
And like you said, this is for all the marbles right here. This is it. This is it. This is the championship race, and man, it's been such a fun time being up here for these races, and it all comes down to this race here tonight, here at the Phoenix Raceway. Definitely going to be quite an interesting race here tonight, and definitely going to be a very fun race here to crown a champion here for this season of the Fast Renegade Pro Cup Series. Definitely looking forward to see how it all ends up shaking out, and yeah, just like I said, it's been a lot of fun here so far throughout just all these races. I've been up here commentating with you. It's been an absolute blast, and I'm sure this race here tonight will be one of those that adds to that history book.
I'm right with you, man. Yeah, it's been a blast having you up here. It's been a blast calling a few races throughout the season, and then we pretty much brought the last couple rounds of this playoff here for the Fast Pro Cup Series. Josh popping into chat there. Couple of good luck honks there for the guy that will be the pole sitter. Josh Moyers, plain spoiler, will be on pole with a blisteringly fast time of a 27.653. He will start on pole just to the inside of Zach Rogers. Zach starting second. Dunn LaPrade will start in third. Randall Coleman back in sixth. That is out of this 9-car field. The rest of the starting results are Jeff Goodpaster in fourth, Drew Fast in fifth, of course Coleman sixth, Tyler Stallhood, John Foreman, and James Moore all will be running here tonight. Pit window, looking like it will be in the realm of about 45 to 50 laps, most likely. So this will be a 2-stop race. The stages, 35, 35, and 40 laps. But of course, as far as I know, at least, those stage points are not gonna matter. All that matters is finishing ahead of your two rivals. But of course, I mean, hey, we still got other guys that are fighting in the points, so there will be stage points on offer for everyone that is not in the final three. And hey, these guys still want to go out with a win. I know that Josh is going to be looking to get one, and everyone else is going to be doing their best to try and get up there and play the spoiler role. So, while yeah, we'll mainly be focusing on the 3 playoff drivers, we'll of course be keeping an eye on things as far as strategy goes for the race win. Here at a pretty nifty night version of Phoenix 2023 updated version. A very multi-groove turns 1 and 2 as well, from what I understand. So, forward to seeing how these guys could use that to their advantage. Pit road speed 45, of course. And let's see. That's about everything I can think of. It is CTS physics that these guys are using, so a little bit different compared to what you would typically expect. But I think at the same time, that's going to keep everyone on a little more of a level playing field. And tires are going to make the car a little bit tighter as compared to if we were running cup physics. So, all things to keep in mind here for this 110 lap event. Of course, Zach Rogers is coming to this as likely the favorite. I mean, heck, I'm just going to say it. I mean, he's had a Corey Himes / Connor Zillitz type of season, if not even better. But obviously, hey, only one of those guys ended up winning the championship. So, Zach, he's hoping for the best. He said, though, he has not won 5 in a row yet this season. Can he get that monkey off his back? Or, hey, settle for second, as long as you're ahead of those guys that you're chasing or fighting with, and let someone else take that checkered flag. Obviously, yeah, all things to bear in mind. But obviously, I have a funny feeling that the champion will also be the race winner tonight, as has often played out in real life. And I would expect more of the same here as well. Caleb, I'll also turn it over to you, man. We got Phoenix, a track that, and of course the updated layout of Phoenix, with the start-finish line in front of the grandstands there, off of what used to be turn 2 is now turn 4. Any expectations? Just kind of based on what you have seen in the past few races that you've been able to commentate.
I mean, definitely a interesting racetrack here as the Phoenix Raceway, and it's definitely going to be really interesting to see how these drivers will tackle this racetrack here tonight, especially with the championship looming over all these guys. So, I don't know, definitely going to be a pretty interesting race, I think, here tonight, and it'll definitely be interesting to see who all we see out towards the front, and just how everything in this race plays out, how these guys will race each other, what kind of strategy these guys will pull off. It's definitely going to be a lot of factors here in tonight's race, that's for certain, but definitely going to be intriguing to see how they all bookend off each other and how this race as a whole will play out.
I'll be curious to see how low guys are going to go in that dog leg. It's perfectly in bounds, and we saw what it did with the truck series. So I don't think we'll see anything quite that wild, but I'm pretty sure running below that yellow line is perfectly legal all the way around.
I think we should have more than 7 drivers here tonight, so who knows? Maybe 7 wide will be possible. We'll see.
Hey, we got 9 drivers to go 9 wide. Why not?
Hey, there you go.
Someone goes from 8th to 1st in the span of 1 corner. All right, we're going to be kicking it to the race session here in just a moment. Like I said, 110 laps, 2-stop race on fuel. Stages will be the 35, 35, and 40. Of course, no stage cautions. So that's just all for points for the guys that are outside of the playoff fight here. And the 9, the 6, and the 47 are going to be the drivers that we'll be keeping an eye out for. If you're tuning in and you didn't quite catch that, you will see their numbers at the top left of your screen then. Just a little reminder of who to keep an eye out on. Still though, yeah, competitive race I think is what we're going to see. We'll find out what happens here in just a minute's time. While I have a moment in the meantime, Fast, of course, concluding tonight. We'll be bringing coverage in of Hobo, their penultimate race of their season at Martinsville on Tuesday night. And then I think that is it for the week. Again, since I'll be partaking in a tribute race on Saturday night. And then we got the championship race for Hobo next Tuesday night from also Phoenix. As the field grids up here, we'll get y'all some live shots here, and there we are. Looking up pit road here. Waiting for everyone to get on the racetrack. Race car is a little ajar, but that's okay. On the pad, not on the track yet. There he is.
Drivers, start your engines!
Man given. Here we go. And let's see. Am I counting that correctly? I only see 8. Someone not make the start. James Moore did not make the start, it looks like, so he's either sitting it out or just missed the start there. But either way, these guys are rolling. So, a non-championship driver on pole in that 68. The number 6 to his outside. And the 47 in third. The 9 starting sixth. Of course, with this small field, it's not going to be quite as critical where you start, but big time critical where you finish. Into 3 and 4. Coming to the start from this excellent spectator cam. 37 races. It comes down to this. Green flag in the air in the Arizona desert.
Let's crown us a champion. Also
Boogity boogity. Couple guys tapping the wall there off of turn 2. Josh Moyers, though, with the advantage. We mentioned, hey, who's going to go way down there on that dog leg? And, well, Josh answered that question. He went way down there to get clear. I'm sure Zach gave him plenty of space just to play it safe at the moment. Down the Pratt in third, though. Jeff Goodpaster holding on to fourth. After a great qualifying effort out of that 33, hopefully that will convert to a good result for that NWO machine. Drew Fast and Randall Coleman remain side by side for a top 5 position. Randall trying to get clear. Looks like he will, and will move up a position. Again, he's the one kind of starting the race on the back foot, but like I just mentioned, long race here and a 8-car field should be able to work your way forward if, of course, you play the tires and your pace just right.
Especially at a technical racetrack like this, finding a good balance between saving your stuff and still keeping that car setting good lap times is definitely going to be probably a good factor here tonight. But it's been a couple cars maybe grazing the outside wall there on the opening couple of laps. It's been a clean start here so far. Josh Moyer still in the race lead there from pole. Rogers holding on to second, but he's got a mirror full right now of his championship rival, Dunlon of TarnationTV.
Yeah, Dunn is definitely giving him a hound in there. Actually got a little bit sideways there through the corner. Not sure if he may have tapped the apron or not. Hey, I can actually speak from experience that depending on how the grip lanes are set up. Sometimes actually clipping the apron and actually help the car rotate if you start to end up with a tight condition. Whether this track has that or not, I'm not sure. But I do know that there were some similar versions of Phoenix where in 1 and 2, you could really get the car to rotate nicely if you clip that yellow line just right. Although if you weren't careful and you weren't ready for it, it could also spin you right around. So, of course, with CTS physics, the spin around might be a little less likely. Of course, not unheard of, especially depending on how hard you push it. These guys all running pretty safe lap times. They're about half a second off of their qualifying times. All running very low 28s. Currently, we may see someone dip into the 27s here at some point. But as Zach Rogers was mentioning to me pre-race, the tire fall off is going to be a little bit more than the actual wear. So while you might not risk actually blowing a tire if you run too long, you will lose about a second to a second and a half throughout the run. As we're actually focused in on Zach Rogers, you can hear him really playing with the throttle through these corners. Just trying to get the car to rotate as much as he can. Right now, all 3 of these guys out front, kind of in a league of their own, pulling away just a smidge. Jeff Goodpaster, though, not much further behind, as it looks like all the gaps at the moment have pretty much stabilized.
These drivers staying relatively consistent for now as this run goes along. As these top 3 still quite close together. Moyer's trying to pull away a little bit from the 6 of Zach Rogers. Jeff Goodpaster there in 4th, trying to stay with our top 3. Got Randall Coleman there in 5th, looking to try and maybe get in on this battle, trying to close in. We're sure the championship contender there apart from Zach Rogers and Dunlon of TarnationTV. It's got Drew Fast, Stallhood, and John Foreman currently rounding out the field, but like I said, everybody kind of stabilizing a little bit where they are right now.
And I'm sure that's by design. Of course, coming to complete just the first 10 laps here. Lap times among these top three have been very consistent, all running within a few hundredths of their previous laps, although Goodpaster is also doing a good job of keeping it consistent. He's actually closed a little bit on the 47, and he's ripping about a lane higher than those guys. And so far, it's working out decently well for him. He's keeping on pace, just ran a 28-1. All the guys in front of him pretty much did the same thing. So yeah, he's taking kind of that wide arc on entry. And so far, it's working decently for him. Dunn able to get just a little bit further away from him this lap, but still a credit to that 33. Although we're still only about a quarter of the way even through this fuel run, so still a lot to be determined in that regard. And yep, as you said, Drew Fast, Tyler Stallhood, John Foreman all rounding out the field. Still, everybody's lap times throughout the entire field just a couple tenths off of each other, which is pretty impressive. Ooh, here we go.
Foreman had a pretty good slip there through turn number 3 as LeProd peeking to the inside of Rogers, trying to cut the dog leg, trying to get alongside there, that number 6 machine. And Rogers on the outside, LeProd on the inside. LeProd checking the corner up, maybe looking to try and get a run off, but Rogers rolls that outside and holds him off here for the time being.
Yeah, that is for the championship position. And obviously not something to be too concerned about at this point in the race, but hey, if we go caution-free, which I have a feeling this race could have potential to do, it's going to come down to your strategy and when you pit. Of course, the stage lengths are spaced out just well enough that we won't have to worry about them trying to stretch it. Excuse me. They won't have to try to stretch it to make it to the end of the stage or do any funny business there. I mean, heck, we only got 20 laps to go in this stage. But with these laps clicking off here, just under 30 seconds per lap, about 28 seconds to be exact. This race, this does go caution-free, will go by in a hurry. Jeff Goodpaster is starting to slip back now. His tires may be starting to give up the ghost just a little bit. Randall Coleman, one of the few guys that has his best lap in the 27-second bracket, but has now lost a couple tenths compared to that so far. But he is on pace with these top three. He's running 28.2s, and that is exactly what everyone in the top three here is doing.
Speaking of these top three, it's time to accordion together just a little bit. Rogers may be trying to close in here on this 68 of Josh Moyers, and of course, on the prod still just right all over the back bumper of that 6 of Rogers. These guys pulling away a little bit from that 33 of Goodpaster, who's right now looking to maybe get run down here by the 9 of Randall Coleman, who's looking to try and do everything he can to try and make his way up here through this field. Because like you said, I think this race definitely might have the opportunity to go caution-free, especially if these guys can maybe get spaced out a little bit. We could definitely get that if we had something like a green flag pit stop were to happen. So this race is still far from over, but definitely seeing some really interesting stuff here in the early stages, and it's going to definitely be interesting to see how the rest of this race goes.
Caleb, I'll pitch you a question here and ask you, if you're in Zach Rogers' shoes right now, I mean, it's early in the race still, but given, like, if this were later in the race and you're in this position, you've got Josh Moyers right in front of you, but Don LePrand has to be your main priority, though, right? I mean, the 68 be darned, or do you feel like Zach maybe aiming for that race win?
No, honestly, I feel like if I was in the shoes of Rogers right now, if it was late in the race, then yeah, will probably for sure be my first priority, holding him off. Because, I mean, like we see, you don't have to win the race to win the championship, just have to finish ahead of everybody else here in this format. So, I'd say that's probably what will take first priority here for all these guys. So, like I said, going to be interesting to see what we do see later in the race. But yeah, honestly, if I'm these championship contenders, each other is definitely my first priority.
I'm right there with you. And, you know, it's funny. If I was in that predicament, I honestly would love to be Josh Moyers in this position, because it's like, you got the race lead and you know that two of the championship contenders are behind you. they're more worried about each other versus you. So you're almost like, all right, well, see you, boys. I'm out of here. He's just doing his own thing, but heck, these two have both been right with him. This gap between these three has not budged since the start of this race. We're now 20 laps in, so very impressive out of these guys. And of course, Jeff Goodpaster was on a good run there. He's starting to slip back now, but his lap times still aren't too bad. Randall Coleman, though, starting to close in, and you almost do feel like at this point, because now he's quite a ways back of those first two running in the championship. You feel like he may be hoping for a yellow flag, because then that'll put him right up there, but otherwise he's going to have to strategize his way up there at this point in time.
Yeah, definitely, unfortunately, lost a little bit of ground there on the opening laps of the race, kind of put him in this position, but Coleman still does have a fast car. Like you kind of mentioned, he's still setting pretty consistent lap times compared to our race leaders, so, and I'm definitely fast, but still has quite the hole to dig himself out of here in this race. So yeah, whether it comes down to maybe getting a caution or maybe having to roll the dice on pit lane, choose a Randall Coleman, I think you definitely need to try and just do something, differentiate from the top three a little bit to try and make something happen.
I think the undercut might be the only way to really get that done. As hello, Zach Rogers right on the tail of the 68. Again, how aggressive is he going to be with this? Because I'm sure, I mean, yeah, with what we were just saying, obviously the priority has to be the 47, and we do, well, we were just talking about it, and there it is. And it looks like it may have been the 70 of John Foreman. Let's have a look. Ooh, yeah. He actually got past Tyler Stallhood on the racetrack. And in 3 and 4, Tyler just drives it in way too
Had
deep.
a bit of help.
Yeah. Yeah, it sent him around. I'm actually surprised the caution came out, because there wasn't anyone coming at that point, but I guess he was around as Tyler Stallhood was going around him, so the game threw the yellow for that. But not much damage there for the 70, so he should be in pretty good shape. And now here comes everybody down pit road. Let's see, lap 25 of 110, that puts him at 85 to go by my math, so I think it's still, no, 85. Yeah, I think that should put them on the one stop, because that'll range out pretty much to about a 40 to 42 lap run to the end at that point. Or per stint, I should say. See who all emerges where. Looks like these top three will remain unchanged. Slow stop for Jeff Goodpaster is going to allow Randall Coleman to get by him. And now we've got our championship contenders, 2, 3, 4.
How about that?
There we go. I'm going to also take the opportunity of this caution flag to fix my picker here, because it would appear to be slightly cut off. Let's fix that. There we go, that's better. Much better. As the field catches up to the pace car here to see if we get the one to green or not. Yep, there we go. So, yep, kind of a cool thing with these guys running their own EXE. You're able to shorten the caution flags at will. So now, pretty familiar territory here for our top two, top three for that matter. Although with Randall Coleman up here, yeah, can he keep up with these guys now?
Definitely have to see. Like I said, in that run, he was showing some pretty consistent lap times there with our race leaders. See how that ends up shaking out. But seeing over the radio chatter, though, that Dunlop Prod has lost first gear.
Oh, boy. Don't know if this setup is going to be very reliant on that, or if second gear is going to do the job. We'll find out here. But wow, no first. That's unusual. Well, admittedly, if there is a gear that you're going to lose, that tends to be the the most optimal one to lose. As we get back going, and yeah, it didn't look like it affected him that much at all, which is nice to see. Oh, Drew fast, hello!
Oh boy!
And a big move there. He says, championship battle? What championship battle? Let's get this thing. I like it. Race him up.
Big move there, letting inside by Drew fast. It's like LaPrade and Coleman trying to hold him off, though. Coleman trying to clear here through turn 4, and will clear there through turn 4. So our 3 in the championship still back to back to back right now, but still all 3 of them right now behind that 68 of Josh Moyers, who's ran a really good race so far. Moyers went way up the racetrack in that 6. Might be looking for a bit of grip up there.
Trying to get the run. And kind of just drew even with that 68 that time. But yeah, field out. Now's the time to do it. Might as well, especially on new tires. A little more freedom of kind of where you want to go. And yep, they separated there a little bit. Now they're starting to come back together just a smidge. You know, how aggressive is the 9? And is he going to be able to keep up with these guys as they're all running a little bit faster now? Running high 27s. 27.8s primarily. And Randall looks like he's just hanging back for the time being. And saving some tires, perhaps. Down the parade, right back on the tail of the 6. But still 80 laps to go. After our first caution of the race there just a few moments ago. And now we got 5 laps to go in this stage as well. Again, not really going to play too much of a factor, but mainly play a factor for anyone outside of these top 3. Dunn's being pretty aggressive there with that dog leg. But so far, continues to draw pretty even with those around him. And that top 3 still looking like they are the ones to beat at this point.
So they've definitely been class of the field so far. Pretty much run 1, 2, 3 this entire race. And probably with some fresh tires and some adjustments potentially made out of that caution. And really starting to accordion together here into this run. The fraud, like you said, being pretty aggressive there with that dog leg, trying to close in to the 6 of Zach Rogers. And Randall Coleman starting to pick up the pace in that 9 machine. Maybe he saved his stuff there for a little bit, but it was starting to turn the Jets quite a bit. He's trying to close in here to our top 3.
Inching just a little closer, perhaps, that time. Did run just a little bit faster than both the 47 and the 6 that time around. Pretty even lap times. Again, though, is he just saving, or is he on the back foot right now? Obviously, only time is going to tell. With where they pitted there, about lap 25, these guys should be able to go probably to about, that put them lap 70. And then that would give them a 40-lap run to the end, so one stop from here, but it's going to be 2 pretty long runs in that time. So you want to save your stuff. You want to keep these tires under you throughout both runs. Zach Rogers, once again, trying to rip that outside lane. And he's going to get the run off to stay clear of the 47, but the gap between him and the 68 remains pretty much unchanged. Although 47 is lurking back there once again. So far, these are the 2 it looks like it could come down to. Again, that is just as we speak. Still ways to go. Not even close to halfway yet.
These 2 have put on a great show here so far. LaPrade has not let that 6 get too far away, but LaPrade caught the wall pretty good there off of turn number 3. That quite a little bit lost a bit of momentum there, but still trying to stay close with the 6 of Rogers. He's not let him get too far away pretty much throughout this entire race. But Rogers is closing in here on the 68 of Josh Moyers. Moyers up the track, leaves the bottom open through 3, and here comes Rogers.
Wow, tight.
Whoa.
Very tight between those guys there. I think I heard Zach give the throttle a little blip there just to not risk pushing up into that 68. A wise play there, but yeah, if you're done the pred, you gotta hope that that damage doesn't affect your handling too much. Moderate damage, it's not gonna affect his speed, but it could affect the handling when you get door damage like that. And it tends to push a little bit more than it normally would, and then of course you have to remember to disable damage so that you don't sit on pit road forever. as they repair damage that really does not need attending to. So we'll see if that'll affect Dunn at all. Oh yeah, he's closing right back in. Oh yeah, these top three way more condensed now. Well, that opened the door for Randall to try to close back in. He still ran about a tenth slower than all these guys said last lap.
I'm dropping back a little bit after closing into our top three. I wonder if maybe he's trying to save his stuff a little bit. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see what that 9 car can do as this race goes along. But yeah, we'll certainly tell you what, it has been a crazy battle up here at the front of the field between Moyers, Rogers, and LaPrade, especially considering that we got a championship on the line between Rogers and LaPrade.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely been quite the race.
Oh, you ain't kidding. And yeah, Zach, he's definitely taken a peek or two, and the door opened up for him when Josh had his moments going up the racetrack. And now they've settled it back down. Their lap times still remain just a little bit faster than what they were running on that first stint. As I believe we've had another retiree, and that was Jeff Goodfaster, has called it a night. I don't know why I said another. He's the first one. Whether something happened to him or just something came up, whatever it is, it's not how Jeff wanted to end his season, but still made it to the penultimate round of the playoffs. So props to Jeff on a decent season.
They got to give props there. Nothing to scoff at there, getting to the penultimate round of the playoffs. And had a good run going there in that first run here in this race. Pretty much ran it forward throughout that run. Stayed close to our top three there for quite a ways, but unfortunate break there for Jeff Goodfaster. Brings us down to 7 cars left out here on the racetrack. And the biggest battle on this track, it seems like, is right up here for the race lead, where our top three is still condensed together. It's been incredible just how condensed these guys have been here so far throughout this race. Moyers has not been able to get away with the race lead and has constantly had a mirror full of Zach Rogers, but Rogers has consistently had a mirror full of Dunn LaPrade.
You ain't kidding, and that's got to be playing on all these guys' minds. Just going, man, what do I got to do? And Zach still holds that championship position, which I know is the priority. Race win to get that 5th in a row would be pretty cool, but obviously there are bigger fish to fry in this particular scenario. One thing is for sure, though, they are pulling away big time. Randall Coleman just had a miserable lap, 28.6. So far, that number 9 is not one of the favorites, and yeah, I think he's starting to struggle. He's really starting to struggle here in comparison to these top three. He just lost another 0.3. So that's not what you want to see for Randall Coleman. Once again, just going to find himself in a scenario where he will have to either hope for a yellow or strategize his way back into contention, but it just looks like that number 9 does not have the speed that it needs in this long run, whereas these top three got it all locked up.
Unfortunately, seems that way there for the 9 of Randall Coleman. Maybe struggling a little bit there with that car as the run goes along. He's in touch there with our top three now, pretty much about over 3 seconds back to our race leader. So I wonder if the 9 just might have something up his sleeve. Not quite sure, but I still think that he might need to make some magic happen here if he wants to win this championship, because LaPrade and Rogers have been class of the field here so far tonight.
Still in their own little heated battle here, but well, I say heated. I think these guys are at this point, unless the door opens up, they're just content to run around what they got until that round of pit stops comes along, which I'm guessing will probably be in about 20 laps, maybe a little bit more, maybe 25 if you run it out pretty far. We'll see as Dunn LaPrade, oh boy, is once again all over that bumper of the number 6. Dunn LaPrade backs up the corner just a little bit, trying to get the run off there. But man, Caleb, yeah, you were saying just how impressive it is that these top three throughout the course of both runs have remained just nose to tail with all of them, and they have been so consistent, and none of them have wavered this entire time.
I was talking about, that's the crazy part too. All these guys just still staying tightly packed together, and all these guys just running consistent laps, none of them giving an inch, and none of them making mistakes here so far. It's been a fantastic battle up here for the race lead, but like I said, if any of these guys do make a mistake, their battle's really going to open up, and these guys are going to be on top of each other.
Oh, clip of the wall there for Josh. Zach's not going to get aggressive with that. He stays in line. I just checked the lap times with Randall Coleman there. He just ran a lap time in the 29s. Something is wrong with that number 9. Because he's the slowest man on track. Like, outright. And no disrespect to any of the others, but I mean, he's a championship contender, and yeah, he's running these slowest lap times out there, so something's wrong. Well, whatever it may be. So that's going to be a rough one there for the number 9 again, unless he gets a lucky break with a yellow. Got 60 laps to go in this race. Closing in on the halfway point here in about 5 laps. Ooh, Zach up the track there a little bit.
Ooh.
How aggressive is Dunn going to get here?
We got to cut the dog leg here.
Big cut.
Trying to get alongside.
Ooh, not quite. But that right there, that shows you. You got to play it just right. But it can absolutely happen, but I also have a funny feeling that in order to make a pass happen, yeah, the door has to open up like that. Just flat out driving around a guy is going to be very, very challenging. Especially with how evenly matched these guys are, and Phoenix being another tough passing track.
Phoenix is definitely quite the unique racetrack, which, like I said, makes it quite the technical racetrack to make moves at. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not some doors open up for these guys. But yeah, like you said, I think for a track like this, really going to take a mistake out of these guys to open up a door and make a move possible. But I mean, it's like I said, it's a technical racetrack. We could definitely see it happen, but honestly, these guys have ran a spectacular race here so far up to this point. As soon as I say that, I'll wiggle out of
boy. From the spectator cam, you got to see that run. And now Zach, he's got that nose to the quarter panel. And see how hard Josh fights this. Oh boy, just barely clear was Zach. And now Dunlap trying to follow suit, but new race leader. And back into familiar territory. Zach Rogers. Dunlap trying to follow suit, but Josh is going to get the run here off of exit. Ooh, he cut Dunn some slack there, I can tell you that. Look at Dunn send it in there to that corner. A little bit harder, but now we got our championship drivers 1-2 with Josh Moyers in tow. And Randall Coleman further back now, just trying to hold on even to the 4th position. As Drew Fast is starting to close in on him. And I think the 68's handling is also starting to go now. Looks like he may be getting tight. And that's what allowed the 6 and the 47 to make this move. But Josh Moyers now kind of on the back foot. And trying to keep up with these top 2 after he just clipped the wall there off of turn 2 that previous lap.
A lot of shakeups here at the front of the field after that little wiggle there out of the 68 of Josh Moyers. Like I was talking about earlier, if we get a mistake from these top 3, these guys are going to be all on top of each other. Definitely saw that in play right there. As now Zach Rogers cycles to the lead, but Dunlap cycles up to 2nd. And while Rogers did get the Moyers there for the race lead, he still got a mirror full of Dunlap.
Number 47 is not letting him go. Dunlap coming into this race with a chip on his shoulder, no doubt. Anytime that we have broadcast one of these races, he has come up just short of the race win. And while I know that he's got to be feeling pretty good at the fact that he is in this championship race, he's also been so hard on himself as far as getting those wins. I mean, we remember just how distraught he was after Vegas, running out of fuel after turn 4 on the final lap. and ended up in second place. But man, if that start-finish line was even just a couple hundred feet sooner, he would have had that race win. Came oh so close at Colorado. He's a man on a mission. He is a man to prove himself, not just to his competitors, but to himself. Because again, I know him well enough that he has been so hard on himself, not just this season, but in general. He's someone that always wants the absolute best. So now that he's got that championship in sight, he wants it, and he wants it so bad so that he can say, I freaking did it. And he's in contention to definitely make that happen. With 50 laps to go, pit stop's probably coming in about 5-10 laps. What's the strategy going to be? Undercut, overcut. These guys have lost about a second on their lap times, and this run has gone on for about 35 laps here so far. Oh my gosh, he is there.
I definitely have to give LaPrada a huge call here to this race. Came in, like you said, with a chip on his shoulder, looking to perform, and he's absolutely shown up and shown out here tonight. He has not let that 6 of Rogers get away from him, and he is still just all over his back bumper. He has definitely put the pressure to Rogers here all night long, and yeah, like you said, he definitely has a really good shot at being in contention for this title if he can stay in this position. But like I said, potentially looming on the horizon is pit stops, so it will definitely be interesting to see what everybody decides to do, what strategy everyone likes to go with. And this is definitely going to be very, very interesting to watch.
Of course, you have to execute on pit road as well. This isn't a terribly difficult pit road to get onto, but you got to manage that aggressiveness when you're coming on, or else next thing you know, you're going for a slide, and that would be the last thing that either of these guys would want, or Josh Marters for that matter. Josh is still lurking. He's not lost much. He's slipped back maybe a tenth or two, but oh no, they're still remaining decently even with those top two after losing the lead. So Josh Moyer is still very much a threat for this race win as this plays along. I did see Tyler Stallhood came down pit road earlier, so that's why he's moving forward. He's on fresh tires. Randall Coleman has been passed by the 74. Not going to be Randall Coleman's night by the looks of it. And now that we are checking back up front, we are now officially in a window where these guys can make it to the end whenever they want to pitch. So, just a matter of when. Zach Rogers was inching a little bit away from the 47, and now it's reversed. That 47 inching a little closer once again. But man, it's just a game of hundredths. I mean, we always talk about how every 10th, 100th, 1000th of a second that, whether in real life or in game, that you're able to gain or lose, you're going to take it. No matter how absurdly small the margin is, that margin accumulates over time, and boy, we're seeing that out of Donlon after slipping back just a smidge. He is right back on the 6's tail.
Yeah, these two have been pretty much keeping each other in check all race, making sure the other runs as good of a race they can possibly can. These two have put up a fantastic show here so far here tonight.
Ooh.
And if these two can stay within each other, I'm sure this battle is absolutely far from over. Bit of a slide there from LaPrade out of turn number 3, but no harm, no foul really. Maybe lost a little bit of momentum. Nothing too crazy. They'll have to see if he can close back in, but like I said, within that pit window now, so definitely going to be intriguing to see when everybody does elect to come down. But honestly, I wonder if maybe these two were thinking about overcutting one another, undercutting one another, or maybe even trying to just come down the pit lane together. We'll have to see how it all ends up shaking out, but definitely intriguing to see what does happen.
Yeah, I gotta think that the advantage is going to go to whoever pits first, at least on the initial run, as we take lap 69. Quite nice. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the call is here. I mean, so far we've gone about 43, 44 laps. You could probably go a little bit longer if you want, especially as these tires wear out. You're off the throttle more, you're saving fuel that way. So this run can probably go a little bit longer than we anticipated. But, man, I don't know. I don't know what the call is here. We are now at 41 to go. Tyler Stallhood coming around to unlap himself. And, oh, here we go. John LaPrade.
Oh, boy.
First to take it. Now, there is one thing that we have to keep in mind. He does not have first gear, so his exit out of his stall is going to be much slower. So he may end up gaining that back with this undercut. Does Zach respond? Looks like he is.
Yep.
And look pretty aggressive there on entry, but got her down to speed nicely there. Josh Moyer is going to up for the overcut and stay out. Well, Drew Fast was also on pit road just a little bit ago. Oh boy. Yeah, now we're going to see it. Now we're going to find out what the strategy is going to be here. As Yep Donlon LaPrade slowly, painfully pulling his way out of his pit stall. Josh Moyer is coming in very hot.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy. From what I understand, the pit road speed begins at that cone line, so oh boy, that could be trouble as far as getting a penalty or not.
Oh, we got a
caution!
caution.
Yellow's out! And I'm looking to see why, and I don't know. Let's see. I'm also trying to figure out, who's the race leader at the moment. I think it's still Josh. Josh? I don't know. I'm trying to see if you may have trapped on the lap down. Well, first, let's see what brought out the caution first. Let's get that established. So we'll get it to about the very moment that the caution lights come on. Zach Rogers on pit road. I don't see anything.
I believe that was a phantom caution.
Oh my gosh, did the game really pull that? Are you kidding me? Wow.
Well, we can't have consistent tire blowouts, so we gotta have controversy of some kind, I guess.
You got something. So, how are they going to sort out the scoring here? That's what I want to know.
Coleman might have had the lead, but he is going to come down the pit lane.
And Josh Moyer's coming back down pit road as well. He was dropping to the rear. I think he got a speeding penalty. So, while, yeah, that's going to hurt him, I feel like this caution just saved him. Because otherwise he would have had to do a drive-through. He would have lost at least a lap.
Yeah.
He'd still be on the lead lap here, so that's huge. Although Zach Rogers is the first car behind the pace car and is still scored second. Yeah, the lights went out there, and I think they threw the caution back out so that we could try to get everything sorted out. And yeah, you're right. Randall Coleman has scored the leader.
Doesn't have a pit stop beyond the start-finish line, so I wonder if maybe this time by we'll get a solidified, updated lineup.
Yeah, that's true. Man,
Does
if
look
that's
like
correct,
Rogers might be the leader.
If that's correct, then that'll put John Foreman into a surprise third place here on this restart.
How about that?
Hello there. Guy that went for a spin in the first caution of the race. And so far the only caution for any incident. Because this caution is, Lord knows what. See if we get updated scoring here. As they cross the line. Yep, you're right. Lights are out. Oh boy. Controversial caution thrown by the game. I love when that happens. They're still trying to get themselves sorted out here back behind our top two. Tyler Stallhood suddenly is now third. Put John Foreman fourth. Then Coleman will be fifth. Josh Moyers in sixth. And Drew Fast out there as well. Last car on the track. All on the lead lap, though. So here we go, back to the restart. With our top two in this race. Still fighting for this championship. Green flag back out. And boy, what a restart there for the 7. As yeah, I think that no first gear definitely bent Don LaPrade there on that restart, but he's going to try to cross Tyler Stallhood over. But not able to do it. Stallhood to P2.
Good restart from Stallhood.
Oh, my goodness. Don't overcook it. Oh, I thought he was about to spin out the 6. That could have been so ugly.
That was, like I said, that was close to being not pretty there, but managed to chase it up the track and stay off the back bumper of Rogers. And now LaPrade back up into second. Randall Coleman all over the back bumper of Stallhood looking for third.
Man,
oh,
he's
boy.
still looking.
My
Stallhood ain't
goodness.
afraid. Wow. Josh Myers, we'll see what he's going to do with the run that he's got. That's a great car that 68 has. Obviously, we've seen that throughout the night. He's back in traffic now. Can he work his way forward to try to get back into race winning contention?
Really good run there for turn 3.
Guess what, though? This, oh man, this Stallhood overcooked it again. I think Randall just did too. Ooh, man, yeah, he's under big threat.
Ooh.
Randall maybe in a little bit of desperation mode right now. Knowing that this is really his only shot. Try and get back up there, but oh, he had to get out of the gas.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just don't think it's Randall's night.
We're starting to get down to it, too. I believe this time by going to be, I believe, 30 laps to go.
This is 30, yep. We are good on fuel and tires to the end. But this is not a short run by any means, so you have got to keep these tires under you. You cannot overcook them. Because if you do, you're going backwards by the time you reach lap 100.
It's getting into the late stages, but still need to make sure that you've got your car underneath you once we really get down to it here. So these guys still need to try and save a little bit of their stuff here. They want to have a chance to go at it here once we get down to it. But Rogers and LaPrade, this has been a fantastic battle all race long. And even with the shakeups there under that pit cycle caution, they are still nose to tail.
Winner of this championship is going to have to win this race. Stallhood, though, he's still lingering there in third place. He just ran his personal best that previous lap. So credit to the 7 thus far. 68 trying the apron. I don't think that Josh is being all that aggressive with Randall, just again knowing kind of what's going on there. But still, Randall's got a lot to make up. Don LaPrade not being overly aggressive with the 6 as of yet. But I'm sure just trying to linger right on Zach's tail. And just keep Zach guessing. Keep him thinking. Keep him going, man, he's close to me. Zach Rogers, obviously, I mean, heck, how many wins does he have this season? He is a man that knows how to drive under pressure. Got hundreds of wins, literally, in NR2003. So he knows a thing or two about racing in this position. But Don LaPrade is going to make him earn every little bit of it, and is going to fight him hard to try and get this championship. We are down to 26 laps to go, and it's these top two all in a league of their own. Tyler Stallhood washing up the track there. Randall Coleman's going to get a run to try to take this third position away, and with contact with the wall there for that number 7, Randall will take it.
And now our championship contenders are 1, 2, 3.
Wouldn't you believe it? Still, though, Randall's got his work cut out to try to catch those two.
Also, we know that 68 Moyers is fast, and he's now looking for the 4th position on Stallhood.
Should be able to clear him just barely.
Just barely.
Ooh, yeah. Stallhood, though, not afraid to race him. He's going to try to take that back.
Big
With a good corner, look at Moyer spin it!
And we got a caution. Oh no.
25 to go! Yellow is out. Oh, oh my gosh, pace car. Gave it. Man, it's self-spun.
Like everybody's gonna be pitting.
Yeah, I think you gotta. That was enough laughs. You have to. You absolutely have to. We'll look at what happened there with the 68. No contact. Yep, just went in hard there to try to fight with that 7. And just looped it. Well, that's rough. Alright, back to the live shot here. We're going to see who emerges with this race lead here. See if the 6 can hold on to it on this pit stop. I gotta imagine it's going to be 4 tires all the way around. It looks like that will be the case for the both of them. Maybe Randall will try 2. I don't know. And up they all stay stationary. We still got our championship contenders 1, 2, 3. And Randall now, he knows what's at stake. He has not been up with these guys at all. And he is now going to have only about 20 laps to try and fight with everything that number 9 has. We already know that the 47 and the 6 are more than capable. But do we have a spanner thrown into the gears here? Will this number 9 be a threat? Oh boy, this is gonna get good. I'm excited.
This is about to be a mad dash to the finish.
There'll be 21 laps. Again, still not the shortest run in the world, so you don't want to go. You don't want to go balls out crazy. You want to still manage enough to have something in the closing laps, knowing the tire wear that we have seen. So, how aggressive is Randall? How aggressive is Tyler? We saw that he was not afraid to mix it up with these guys at all. And especially knowing that the 47 does have the disadvantage on this restart without that first gear. Well, make or break. 21 laps. Are we done with the yellows? Are we going to run it to the end? How close are these guys going to be? Let's find out. Here we go. 47 actually got going pretty well there. But of course the 6 is going to have the advantage. Oh no! Stoller just hit the wall and got into everybody.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh man. Yeah, the 7 just he went too high. Bounced off the wall, and of course whatever bounces must rebound, and he rebounds off the wall and got into Randall initially. Wow, yeah, look at this. And bounce, boom. Drew Fast also goes for a spin and a hard hit to the inside wall. Thankfully, the Randall saved it, and Dunn did not hit anything. It was about the main saving graces there for both guys. Although Dunn is going to end up losing another set of tires here. A bounce into both the 9 and the 74. The 9, of course, sends up into the 47, who may have got a little tap there from the 70, but I don't think that'll damage him. And yep, he's on pit road to get some fresh tires on that thing. I don't know if I want to be up in that TeamSpeak channel at the moment.
Oh boy.
He is going to be none too pleased. Holy schmoly. So you know who that's going to put right back into the fold here?
Joshua
Here's
Moyers.
Josh Moyers. Yep, you're absolutely right. Are the lights out? The lights are out. Y'all better catch up here. Or put the caution back down or something.
Childless restart. Let's go.
Wow, that's... Yeah, 7 just came back in, and Drew Fast is still catching up. Boy, I don't know about this, but... Hey, Dunn's back up here, and here we go, into the restart zone. Instant yellow, and, or instant back to green flag racing. Zach got the restart that he needed. And Josh Myers now actually takes second place, so now the 6 has a buffer.
Oh, Moyer's trying to get to the inside on exit.
He's there! This is not what Zach wants. But he was aggressive there on corner entry, and he stays clear, but he is going to go a little bit high. And Don LaPrade back up to 4th already. My gosh, Dunn's got to be fuming in that car, so I feel like we may see some aggressive moves out of that 47. Number 9 is there.
Coleman.
Yeah, he's back in this thing. Josh Myers, how bold is he going to be for this race win? We'll find out here. It is now just 16 laps to go. This 37 race season, and it all comes down to this.
Yeah, I feel like if you are Joshua Moyers, you know what's at stake, especially with the 6 of Zach Rogers, so I don't know if he's going to race him too aggressively, but also I do still think if Rogers leaves any kind of door open, Moyers is probably going to take it.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt about it. That 68 is more than capable of winning this race. Just a matter of how hard he's going to fight for that. Again, all of our top 4 now all under a blanket, all running pretty much the same laps. Drew Fast, well, that in 5th place. And just ran a very competitive lap himself.
Bit of a slip out of Coleman. Here comes LaPrade.
For 2nd in the championship, 3rd on the racetrack. Dunn doesn't send it in too hard. Gonna get the rotation. But they were gonna stay side by side. And then to turn 3. And the 68 all over the tail of the 6. Oh no, Randall's gonna lose it! Saves it!
He holds on to it, but if this thing does stay green, that might be lights out.
Oh man, he had a chance. But he needed some luck to get up there, and unfortunately his luck said, nah, that's enough. Boy, he almost would have been better maybe spinning out and getting the caution. Not meant to be. Josh Myers, though, is really hounding this 6. And man, if they get to side-by-side even for a single corner. Hello, 47.
Doing a good job trying to close in here to the top 2. This championship, I think, is far from over. And Moyers, he's consistently just stayed at the back bumper there. That 6 of Zach Rogers looking to maybe try and find a way around. Maybe trying to pressure that 6 into a little bit of a mistake. This has been a fantastic race here from Phoenix, and we have 11 coming to 10 laps to go here to decide the season.
Coming to 10 to go indeed at Phoenix. And with a buffer between himself and his nearest competitor, Zach Rogers. Loving what he's seeing. He's still got 10 laps here to hold on. Don LaPrade is closing. He is running some blistering laps, including a 7.95 that lap. Dunn giving it everything that he's
boy.
got, but he's still got to pass the 68. And I don't know what the 68 would do at that point if the 47 tries for the move. 68, though, he still wants this race win. He's still there. And these top three, they're condensed yet again.
Are within a half of a second up here is LaPrade to the inside for second.
Big send. He went down on the dog leg there. Run's going to come to Josh on the outside. How about John Foreman up there in fourth place? Had to shout that out real quick. Ooh, Dunn, nice little run here.
Attempt number 2.
Gonna go way down. And we'll draw even with the 68. Again, will the 68 get enough of a run to stay clear? Looks like he will. Man, Dunn has to... Again, I'm sure he is still just thinking, in that helmet, come on, man. What must I do? Dunn's going to try for a larger arc here. All of this, of course, behind Zach Rogers. But even despite them going side by side, these guys have not lost an inch on this number 6.
They're still right up there with him. And like I said earlier on in the race, if any of these guys makes a mistake, the battle is going to be raging on up here at the front of this field. You got 6 laps to go for the number 6. Zach Rogers trying to hold on to this race lead. A little bit of a slip out of Joshua Moyers. Can LaPrade maybe take advantage?
Just keep that quarter panel down there. Not quite close enough. He's going to try for the dive.
Ooh.
Has to check up there just a little bit. That is going to allow the 6 to pull away, but the 47, he's got to be thinking, hey, this is what I have to do. Otherwise, I've got no chance. Josh not giving it up easy, though. And they remain side by side. Coming to 4 to go. Dunn with a big send once again. Gets clear.
He's clear. Can he catch Rogers? The gap this time by about 0.5 of a second.
He needs a 10th or more per lap to get up there. Is that going to be doable? I don't know. If he's got enough tire left under him, that's going to be what it comes down to. Coming to 3 to go in this season. Look at him just send that bad boy in there. There's the 10th he needed.
There's a 10th.
Now Stallhood further up the road. Hopefully won't be a factor. Zach Rogers, just a couple clean laps here, buddy. What you need. Down the Pratt, though, another big send. Three and four is where he's got it.
7 is hooked up in 3 and 4.
Another 10th. 2 to go. This is the corner where they seem to be pretty even, if not maybe even slight advantage to the 6. But man, the amount of ground that 47 closes in 3 and 4 is mighty impressive. Stallherd pits. We are coming to the white flag. 47, oh man, that's close.
We tried to back the corner up a little bit that last time around. Might have cost him a little bit there. It did. 1 lap to go for Zach Rogers. Does LaPrade have anything left in the tank?
How hard is he going to drive it here? He gets a good corner.
Oh boy.
It's still going to take a mighty send to get this to work. This is for the championship. They both take it beautifully. Zach Rogers, your 2025 Fast Renegade Pro Cup Series champion. And credit to both guys. That was very respectful and very hard fought. But man, you just knew it was going to come down to those two. Josh Moyers definitely had his hat in the ring. Unfortunately, just not the night that Randall Coleman needed. just was never quite up there. But I will admit, if there was a guy who earned that championship, it's the 6. Most wins by a significant margin. Just a beautiful season. Out of one of the best drivers in this entire game. Burning it down. He had to earn it. Donlon gave him everything that he could handle throughout the entire 110 laps that we were running. Came down to the last couple corners. Don did not quite have enough to get underneath. And both guys sent it in there, I'm sure, as hard as they could while still keeping it clean. Again, just hard, respectful racing there for a championship. That's how you want to see it. And Zach Rogers giving it the most deserved burn down of the season.
What a drive here tonight out of Zach Rogers. And like you said, definitely have to give a huge call to Donlon as well. It was pretty much right in the mirror of Zach Rogers pretty much that entire night. And even after that 47 got caught up in the incident there late in the going, he still was able to overcome that adversity. And still, despite all of that, was able to close in and fight for the championship with Rogers there all the way to the checkered flag. What a race here tonight from Phoenix. What a championship race. My goodness, that had pretty much just about everything you could ask for.
That was about as good as you can get there for a good, clean race there. Take note, Truck Series.
Take note, NASCAR, period.
Full
stop.
Well, yeah, that is a factual statement right there. We'll get through our championship contenders here shortly. We'll go ahead and start with the guy who finishes third and definitely had a hat there for the race win, but is going to end up finishing third within half a second. The top 3 finished. Man, that's cool. You knew it was going to happen. That was just awesome. Get a word with Josh Moyers here first.
User was moved to
and there is number 68 there, Honk.
Honk honk.
Third place, man. You got the pole, but ultimately, man, you were the spoiler for tonight. And but man, you were right up there for that race win. You, Dunn, and Zach had the entire field on lock. First off, I'll just ask you, how was the race for you from your perspective, the car, and just fighting with those guys throughout?
Yeah, it was a great race. You know, controlled the race there for probably the first half or so. That second run, I ran it a little too hard, just making sure to stay in front of Zach and kind of cook the right front. And then I made like one little goof up, and he was able to get the inside on me and lost control there. But despite having a little more wear than they did, I was able to keep up. And it's going to be interesting to see how that green flag pit stop turned out. So we had a phantom yellow, I guess. And I made my pit stop and got a black flag, so I had to start at the back. So we had to claw back from that. But it was fun. I wish we were racing for a championship, you know, because once I got back up there, you know, I wanted to go all out, but I didn't want to be the one that goofed up and took out a championship contender there at the end, because, you know, that's a long off season when you know that you're the one that caused someone a chance at a title. So, but all in all, it was fun racing Zach and Dunn tonight, and glad we were able to keep it clean and get a podium out of it at least.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question for you, because I know you had mentioned there that you were kind of taking it a little bit easy so that you didn't end up causing any trouble for those contenders. But still, though, I mean, you were fighting it pretty good. You were obviously had that separation between you were the separation between Zach and Dunn there for a while. Yeah, what does exactly go through your mind in that moment of like trying to win the race, but at the same time trying not to get into anybody, and trying to keep the kind of championship fight separate from that? What was the mentality there throughout the night?
Yeah, Man, it was tough because Zach is my teammate, so I want to see him, and Randall was there too at times, but obviously want to see one of them win. But Dunn's also a good friend, and so you're a little torn. Ultimately, you just got to run your own race, and I might have been able to get past Zach if I was a little more aggressive on that final restart, but I decided to kind of hang out behind him and see if he would have a mistake. And then Dunn started getting up to us, and I told myself, I was going to run hard, but once Dunn got a nose on me, I was going to let him go. It's like 5 laps to go at that point, and I was like, we'll settle for third here and see if they can't put a show on for everyone watching. And looks like Dunn came up just a little bit short. I don't know if I let him go a couple laps earlier, if it would have changed anything or not. But all in all, it's still a great race.
Hey, all three of you guys put on a great battle there at the front, pretty much from start to finish. Like I said, you all three had it on lock. That was really awesome. Caleb, any closing thoughts here for the Goose?
I'll definitely have to kind of go off of what Andrew there. That was an awesome battle, pretty much about all race long, between you, Dunlop, and Zach Rogers up there towards the front. Even after coming around there in the later stage of the race, managed to claw your way back up into that lead battle, and still all the way to the checkered flag flew. You were up there battling for the race win, plain spoiler here tonight. So definitely have to give you a lot of credit for that run you put on here tonight. A fantastic job tonight here from Phoenix. Great job, my man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Josh, we'll let you have the floor here for any closing thoughts or shoutouts that you'd like to give, and then we'll let you go rest after a good long season here.
I appreciate it. First and foremost, thank you all for doing the broadcast. Y'all kill it every week, and I love watching the replays and seeing how good of a show we put on or how bad of a show we put on on the week. Gotta say hi to my beautiful wife. Hope she's doing good. Congrats to Zach, man. He was dominant this season. He won a lot. He won a lot of stages. He's pretty much a shoe-in for the Final Four with what he did for the regular season. So, if anyone was the most deserving to win it, it was definitely him. He's a class act on and off the track, and I'm glad to be his teammate. Thanks to Randall, it's a grind, running the league, especially for as long of a season as we run. So thanks to him for all the work he does and effort that he puts into it. It makes it a fun place to race, and I hope to continue doing so. And yeah, that's about it. Another awesome race, another awesome season. We're always coming up short. I know we didn't get to fight for the championship this year, but still got to stick our nose in there and mix it up a little bit. So we'll see how things change next year, and maybe we'll land on the good side next time. We'll see.
Well, best of luck to you on that front, man, and hoping that we'll get to see plenty more of you here on the channel, whether it's here at Fast or elsewhere. So best of luck to you going forward, man. But still, man, a lot to be proud of. Some great results and another great result tonight. So great job, my man. Hong Kong!
Hong Kong!
User was moved out of your channel.
The Goose himself. You gotta love it. Donlon Pratt appears to have gone AFK here for a little bit, so we'll definitely talk to him then. But I think here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get our champion
User was moved
and
to your
our
channel.
league owner
User was moved
both
to your
in here
channel.
while we wait for Dunn to return. Our champ and the league owner and the other guy, of course, in the final three here. Just to confirm, you both copy?
Yeah, you can talk to Randall first. I'm still soaking it in. I want Dunn to go before me.
Sounds like a plan. Randall, I did at least want to talk to you regardless. But first things first, though, you made it to the championship 3 here. Unfortunately, just like that 9 card just didn't quite have the hookup as much as those other two did.
Nah, it was a little bit of a struggle tonight, sadly. I felt like there towards the end of the race, we were actually up there able to contend, and, and then I kicked out the rear end, and that was it. But you know, you have some good races, you have some bad races. Unfortunately, our bad race came right at the very end.
Yeah, it works out that way, unfortunately. All in all, though, felt like you could have found some speed there to keep up with those guys, or track just didn't quite agree with you there.
Earlier in the run, we kind of struggled, but I felt like there towards the end when we kind of got right up there with Zach and Dunn, um, we were able to stay right there. And like I said, then I fortunately dove in a little bit too deep, almost hooked the rear and almost spun it out and saved it down the apron. And after that, you're just kind of riding around, trying to get something back. But obviously by then they were a little bit too far away.
Yeah, unfortunately so. But hey, still, man, you found yourself in that final three at season's end, which is always impressive. But main reason that I did want to get you in here, I mean, hey, you're the guy putting all this on. As Josh had mentioned, putting on a league, especially of this size, of this season length, it's a grind to get through, man. So, a big shout out to you for putting all this on and making it happen. So, I wanted to just let you have the floor here for a little while to just say anything that you want about the league, just about the season, anything of the sort. Just to kind of put the word out there from the man himself that runs it.
Yeah. So, this year was, like you said, a very long grind. And unfortunately, I feel like with the long grind, it kind of hurts the amount of drivers that we have show up each and every week. Because, people can get burnt out pretty quick, especially when you run 37, 38 races in a year, nonstop with no breaks. So, kind of in a way, glad that this is the last season or last year that we're going to have like a whole 36 points race season. Obviously, next year to try to keep our numbers up, try to keep the interest out there, probably draw some more, hopefully some newer drivers in, or bring back current drivers that we've had. We're breaking it down into 3 13 race segments next year, with some off weeks in between, some points races that require nobody that has to show up. It's not anything that's going to be like life or death or anything like that. But shorter seasons, still have a playoff field, and we're probably going to do an overall point standings throughout the year. But obviously, we're going to have crown 3 different winners next year, or 3 different champions next year. So that'll be a pretty cool thing to have coming up. With that, also, obviously, we got with the hookup of Area 23 track designs, which I'm also behind. Being able to run some newer tracks, some updated tracks, some unreleased tracks. That's always a good thing to have with both Area 23 and Fast. A lot of people who come over here to race, they get that little hookup to come out here and run those newer tracks, like one of the ones that we had this past season. I know it didn't draw, I think, as many viewers, but and still probably to this day nobody really knows about it. But obviously, we ran Red Bull Ring earlier this year, and that's something that's never been ran before on NR. So looking forward to getting that official. We had somebody else come on board and kind of want us to work with them in cahoots with each other to try to get that track finalized and have 2 different versions of it. Obviously, our NASCAR version that we ran, and then their F1 layout that they had created. So once we get the go ahead on that one, that's going to be probably released to the public. So that's really cool that this league got to run it firsthand. And like I said, that's the really good thing about having that combination with the track makers and that kind of stuff is you get those tracks and you get to run them and stuff. And sometimes they're really good tracks. We don't have to fix anything, and then sometimes there's things that we are able to find through those races to correct and make them better. So, like I said, it's a really cool thing. Working on trying to, which you know about because I talked to you, um, trying to get the whole all 3 segments broadcasted by 3 different groups of people, kind of like how NASCAR likes to do theirs. Breaks it up with Amazon and TNT and all that. So, trying to get a little bit more interest out there for broadcasters and stuff to come out here and promote their brand as well as supporting our league. So, I'm looking forward to having more talks with you all and some other broadcasters out there and see where we can go from there. But overall, this season, I can't thank everybody enough for coming out here and racing. Been a really fun season. I know at times we've had some butting heads and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, we're all friends. We all come out here for one thing in common, and that's to get on here and race, as a pastime. And even though we're competitive, we still come out, friends. Might not even met in person, but you still have some type of bond with each other, which is ultimately the end goal. So yeah, I think I'm just rambling now, so you better cut me off on that part.
You're good, man. You're good. Again, man, it's like I said, yeah, as you said, it's a big effort, and it's all for the love of the game. And as I always say, I'm just happy to be a part of it. So thank you for what you do, and thank you to all the track makers that continue to do what they do, the mod makers, anyone that paints paint schemes. It means a lot. So, Randall, thank you for what you do, and I'm looking forward to seeing what next season holds. You just keep me posted, my man, and we will definitely make something happen.
Yeah, we'll do. And one more thing before I go, gotta give out a huge shout out to Zach. He's in here right now, so heck of a teammate. Proud to be partnered with him as an owner. One of us two. The end game was one of us two to get that trophy at the end of the day. Zach's had a really incredible run this year. Something that we've kind of talked about before the season started about getting together, forming this alliance, getting him to race under the Revolution Motorsports banner. Revolution Motorsports has a really long track record of Cup Series championships amongst several leagues, and to have your own team win in your own league is a really big thing. And like I think Josh said earlier today too, he mentioned about it too. Josh is also a heck of a teammate. Those two guys, they push me every single week to go out here and perform. And we got some wins this year. We won some stages, but ultimately we came up short. But still, it's a win because we're bringing it home under the banner. Got the Truck Series championship as well this year, even though it was a short season. So 2 championships. Couldn't be any more prouder.
Yeah, I love it. Congrats to you on the team championship there, and congrats to you on a successful season. And like I said, man, again, thank you for what you do for this community and for this entire game. It means a ton.
You want to be the one to tell them what the prize is for this Cup championship?
What we got?
So, he who shall not be named. We had a person who does not want to be named step up, and they purchased. Well, they sent me the money for it, but with their money that they sent us, they purchased 2 championship rings, one for the Truck Series and one for the Cup Series. So Zach will be getting his Cup Series championship ring, which is really cool looking, if I have to say so myself. I've had it at my house for the whole entire year. I thought about confiscating it myself, but but we're gonna be sending it up there, Zach. And so, like I said, he's got one. I got a Truck Series Championship one. So we'll definitely have to show him off a little bit once he gets it.
I'll have to get a picture of that, but that sounds awesome. All right. Again, thank you, Randall, and congrats, Zach. We'll get to you in just a moment, but I know you mentioned we got one more gentleman to talk to just ahead of you, and that's the guy who came up just ever so close. We're gonna get Donlon of in here now.
User was moved to your channel.
And there he is, number 47, Donlon of. Do you copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Don, you were right there all race long, and even after getting into trouble, you still found yourself right up there with Zach. You kept with him all race. Very well done. Just that one slight step short, but still, man, great job.
Left your channel.
Got to be feeling pretty good, but at the same time, I know you. You're probably still like, God darn it.
Not really. I mean, it was obviously good to be a challenge to beat Zach, but I did not have any worries if I was going to win the race, so not at all going into this. I was just hoping that I could do the best that I could. I don't have many chances at this kind of stuff left, so just hope you just give every opportunity, make the most out of every opportunity you got, and wasn't really the best season all season long, at least to my standards, but that's kind of been the theme for me, finishing second a lot to Zach and coming up just short, but that's just the way things go. I mean, we all know, he truly deserves a championship for sure. Obviously, even if we would do the full season points format, he would obviously win it too, fair and square for sure. So yeah, I mean, I don't feel, bad for coming up just short. I feel good. Not the like I said, not the season that I would have liked to have, but at the same time, I still gave it a valiant effort, all things considered.
You absolutely did, man, and that's a good mentality to have. You got to find the bright spots and be proud of what you were able to achieve there. Making it into this race to begin with is not easy, so very well done there. I do have to ask you though, after getting into that skirmish on the restart and spinning out, you did have a little bit of ground to make up. Of course, you're able to make it up pretty quickly, but I'm sure that there was maybe a little bit of extra passion ignited in the helmet once that happened that pushed you forward. But just tell me what that was like trying to get back through the field.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was more worried about focused on Rattle, because I know that there was some restarts where I noticed even if you're on the outside line, because obviously not everybody's going to cut down. If you're on the inside, not everybody's going to cut all the way down low. And like I was just more too worried about him. And then I don't know if I bounced off the wall, got into him, or what even happened. But I mean, I ended up getting the brunt of it anyway. So, yeah, I mean, it was going to be an uphill battle to, get back up to the front. And, I lost first gear on the first pit stop of the day. So that made the restarts a little bit more challenging. But at the same time, it wasn't, I mean, just got to make the most out of what you got. So, I mean, all I know is that I had to get around, Randall, John, and then Josh, and then just to try to get behind Zach and have a chance. And I knew it was going to be tough to beat Zach, so I was just hoping that he would make a mistake, or I would just find some sort of line or found some more grip or whatever. Because it's kind of Phoenix isn't exactly one of my best tracks to perform on as well. So just kind of
adds into the whole, making a challenge type of a deal. But I mean, like I said, I gave it all I had, and just not the I mean, I wish that I had won a lot more races this year, but at the same time, it's like I said, that's just the way things go. And then, I mean, I just said to myself that even if I don't win a whole lot of races this year, um, I still have a chance to win the championship. And, I think just having a chance is about the best thing that you can ask for. And I had that chance, and unfortunately, it was just one spot short.
And man, for Phoenix not being one of the better tracks for you, you ran a heck of a race to be able to keep it up there with Zach. So nicely done. Caleb, any questions for our runner-up in both the race and the championship here? Caleb, you with me?
Yeah, sorry about that.
You're good, man. Just turned it over to Dunn here, and was just gonna ask you if you had any questions or thoughts for our runner-up tonight.
Well, I definitely have to say that was quite the race here tonight from Phoenix, and I definitely have to give you a lot of credit here tonight for that performance. That was absolutely spectacular. You were pretty much, like Andrew kind of touched on there, you were right there on the back bumper of Rogers there for a majority of the night, not letting him get away. And even after getting caught up in that accident late in the going, still drove back up to second place and stayed right there all the way to the end of the checkered flag. So that was a absolute brilliant performance tonight out of you, and definitely have to give you a lot of credit there. So fantastic job out there tonight, my man.
Yeah, thank you. It was. If I hit, like I said, if I got a chance, that's all I can ask is have a chance, and I definitely had the chance for sure, and just wasn't meant to be.
So put yourself with the chance. That's all you can ask for. And great job, man. Way to make it to the final three. Way to fight for it. And very, very impressive stuff. Any closing thoughts that you would like to give, my man? The floor is yours.
Well, first and foremost, I want to, shout out to you and Caleb for broadcasting and commentating the race. Shout out to Randall Coleman for the league. Shout out to Tyler Stallhood for the server. Shout out to everyone that raced tonight. Shout out to everyone, all the men and women who have raced in fast this year. And shout out to everyone watching at home. Also, shout out to Zach on, an amazing year. I mean, I don't know how many wins he got, but more than I probably ever
3 points wins.
Probably more than I think I can ever count. But shout out to Zach on he obviously deserved the championship. Let's be real here. But shout out to Team AFR, and shout out to everyone for making me a better person and a driver.
Real quick, the server is Randall's, for the record.
Oh. Oops. Anyway, either way.
It's all good. Oh,
thanks
good,
to
man.
Rhino, whoever who gets the server up every week.
Thank you to the server. Great job, man, tonight, and best of luck going forward. Hopefully, we'll see plenty more of you here on the channel. But regardless, though, you got a lot to be proud of, my man. Just to keep your head held high, and great fight tonight. Very well done.
Yep, thank you all.
User was moved out of your channel.
It was Don LaPrade, finishing runner-up. That brings us to the champ. And Mr. 20, what did you say, 23?
23 points wins, 24 counting the All-Star.
Good grief. What an animal this guy is over here. But, man, Dunn was giving you a run for your money all night long. He was right on your tail. I'm sure you had to be looking in your mirror going, ooh, hello there.
Yeah, I'm going to be seeing the front end of his car in my dreams tonight. Even when I wasn't leading, he was right there behind me.
When Josh was leading there, it was all three of you. All three of you were absolutely the class of the field, so not surprising seeing you all finish in the top three. But overall, though, I mean, yeah, you said you got to soak it in there a little bit before we talked to you. Of course, yeah, you got that ring coming to you, but a dominating season, but still, I gotta ask, what's it mean to you getting a championship here at Fast?
Man, so I got to come back to Fast in May 2023, and Randall and I weren't always on the good terms, best terms before that, but had a good conversation back then, 2.5 years ago now, and got to come back to the league, and was having a good amount of fun in 2023, and then initially was going to run full time last year. Ended up I was racing somewhere else 3 nights a week. I didn't really want to run four nights a week full time at the time, so I didn't run any fast at the beginning of last year, and then came back in May again. Wasn't eligible for the playoffs. Won the finale last year here at Phoenix, and was like, definitely going to run full time this year. And the only race I didn't run was, I think, Iowa, because I was watching SummerSlam. So I knew I could get away with missing 7 races, but I was like, I can just miss one. And I had won Iowa the year before, but I had a feeling all year. I kept saying it every week, more or less, that I'm going to get to Phoenix. Something's going to happen out of my control, and I'm not going to be the champion. But golly gee, we fucking did it. Sorry, Andrew.
It's a championship. I get the passion, and yeah,
I would be yelling, but my father's asleep, so I have to subdue this a little bit.
I think that's a good idea. So, I guess the only other thing I gotta ask you, couple somewhat late-ish restarts. I know Dunn was without first gear, so that probably helped out a little bit, but that probably gave you that impression of like, oh, well, here comes that moment out of my control that something's gonna happen. But still, you kept a level head and you made it happen. But still, I'm sure a moment had to flash through your mind of, uh-oh.
Yeah, the moment was when the 7 was behind me going into turn 3 on one of those restarts, and he about took me out.
Yeah, we saw that.
You can go back to my stream, and the thoughts in the moment will suffice for how I feel about that. I don't have to rehash that. I won the race. I won the championship. There's no need to rehash that. But my feelings are well known on my stream. So you can also check out the end of my stream, the last lap, I think, where I started saying, "Show me the money," because I knew I had a pretty good gap on Dunn, and it was just gonna take hitting my marks to seal this up, man. It's still sinking in, man. I wanted to do a crazy good burnout, because last year when Cody Luke won this title, he did a similar burnout, just going in circles, and I was able to get a sick free cam shot. So I was like, I got to get a good shot, because that's going to be probably my Facebook cover for a good bit. And I don't usually change my desktop picture, but I made it my desktop picture, and I'm just sitting here staring at it, and I just still can't believe that all those wins, the only one that mattered was tonight. Like I didn't need any of those other wins. I just needed to make it here. But it was such a great year. I knew regardless, and it was a weird feeling waking up and going to bed last night. Waking up this morning, going to bed last night. That's kind of out of order, but I went to go to bed, and I was like, oh yeah, fastest tomorrow. And I was like, went to sleep, woke up this morning, and just kind of wasn't even really thinking about it all day really until about 5-6 o'clock is when it's like, all right, well, fast is in a few hours, so I gotta take a shower, eat dinner, like get ready, do a few laps, and felt good. Felt like would have been fine finishing second to Josh. Um, that's what the champion has done to me the last 2 years. When I wasn't playoff eligible, I won the finale. Malin finished second to me in 23, and then last year Cody finished second to me to win the title here. So would have been fine with that, but yeah, there was only a little bit of pressure there on that last restart. I had talked to Josh and like, just do your best to race him hard so he doesn't get by me as quickly, like regarding Dunn. And at first I was like, man, if I don't go fast enough, Josh is gonna go by me. Like, I don't want that to happen, because then I'll be in a tough spot. Because clean air, I realized, clean air was a good bit important in helping save your right front a little bit. Otherwise, it was just like really hard to get a run on anybody. I'll say Dunn did a great job tonight, developing runs when it counted, and there were a lot of times where he could have got really aggressive and threw a dive bomb before that last stint, and made it interesting. But he didn't, and he raced me with a ton of respect tonight, and I appreciate him for that.
You guys both ran with a lot of respect, so that was pretty cool to see. But the championship is yours, my friend. Caleb, anything to close out with for our champ?
Well, definitely have to say that was quite the race here tonight, and quite the performance from you out there. Pretty much held solid there with the championship lead throughout pretty much the entirety of the race. I definitely had a bit of a challenge there, especially from the 47 of Dunlop. You kept your cool and managed to bring it home for the championship. So just fantastic job out there tonight, my man, and congratulations on the championship, my man.
Thank you, Caleb.
Well, I know we at least got some remarks there for winning the championship. But of course, before we let you go, though, whatever else you want to close out with, as long as there's no more F bombs, you have the floor, my friend.
Yeah. Just kind of thinking about my grandmother tonight. She's been in and out of the hospital last month or two. As far as I know, she was moved to the rehab wing today, but she's been in and out. Without going too deep, she suffers from rheumatoid arthritis, which, attacks your muscles mainly, but also attacks your immune system. And then, the medication to treat that also attacks your immune system. So she's been, immune compromised. She was in the hospital a month ago, and then she went back in a week ago. It's just been kind of thinking about her lately. She's 82, 83 years old, and thinking about her a lot too, especially with what our boy Dylan Young's been going through. Dylan losing his dad last week just really has me thinking about life a little bit. And I'm only 28, but I know a lot of people that are getting up there 60s, 70s, 80s, and been very fortunate to not have lost anyone yet. But it's inevitable. It's going to start happening. That's life. And you got to appreciate your family while they're here, your family and your friends while they're here. And that's why I don't want to lose any more friends that I've got. I'm not bending over backwards to keep the friends I got, but I also don't want to lose any more, because I've fallen out of grace with one or two really good friends, and I wish I could talk to them like I used to, but it is what it is. So we move on, we keep moving, the planet is spinning. But enough deep talk. A shout out to you and Caleb for the broadcast. Thank you for doing these last 4 races. I know they were a blast to watch, every single one of them. Got to thank Randall, of course, for the league and being a great team owner, bringing me onto the team. He brought me onto the team technically last year, and been running Chevys for him over here since. So appreciate him. I've gotten pretty comfortable running these Chevy Camaros, and I won't be full time here next year. But I know I'll still have a place to race here when I want to come out and remind these guys what they're chasing, I guess. Got to thank Cody Lamas for the paint schemes all year on these Liquid Death machines, the Viagra throwback car to Mark Martin, and the Bass Pro Shops America Salutes car, as well as the Spirit Box scheme. We were able to get a win in every paint scheme this year, which was really cool. I think back years ago when I would run so many schemes a year and how many schemes I never got to win in. And, it's really cool to be able to wrap up the full season championship and all and know that out of the 23, 24 wins, every paint scheme got to win at least one time. And those are going to be remembered through the screenshots that I keep on my computer and put up on my Facebook. Not to brag. It used to be maybe to brag mostly, but now I try to say I'm doing it to remember, because I want to remember the battles I've had, because when I started keeping key photos on my personal hard drive of like memorable wins, not that they're like great wins or anything like that, just like remembering the great battles that I had to fight to get those wins, remembering the people that I fought to get those wins, that I enjoyed racing against to get those wins, that I had fun battling to get the win, the titles, everything. This is championship number 20 and win number 299. And if you told me 10 years ago that I'd have this many, I'd say, oh, sounds great. But I was a wrecking ball 10 years ago. Shout out to everybody that I've raced against for 10 years now. The 10-year mark is, I believe it's November 15th. 2015 was my first online race. So it's crazy that it's been 10 years, and we're going to be going on year 11 next year, running full time over at Bomb Squad for their Cup Series, and see if we can't get another title over there.
Get you some of that. Well, Zach, congrats and thank you for everything that you have done for this channel. And believe me when I say that you've got a friend right here talking to you right now. I've got your back, my man. That is bar none, end of story. So, it's great to see you get it home, and yeah, as you said, kind of carry that weight a little bit of some of what's going on. So, much love to you, much respect, and just badass, man. Great job this season. Holy crap, did you earn that? I'm glad you got it. Very well done.
Thank you, man. In the words of Sean Whitehill, I'm a Brandon Hawkin Jr.
I agree. Congrats, my man. Go celebrate. Just don't make too much of a mess with that champagne.
Yeah.
User was moved out of your channel.
We'll hear more from Zach, of course, on Tuesday night when he'll be back up in the booth here for Martinsville at Hobo. Caleb, we just saw the championship get decided. Zach, definitely the deserving man to get it, but still, he had to earn that. But your closing thoughts, and just thank you for being a part of this last stretch of races that these guys are putting on.
Definitely have to give a massive thanks to you for having me up here, help you call these races. It's been an absolute blast to be up here, and I'm so happy to have been given the opportunity to be up here. But just man, what a season this has been, and what a race this was to cap everything off. So going in, this would probably be quite the interesting race, and man, it absolutely delivered on that. And then some. That was such a fun race. Saw all of our championship contenders going at it there for quite a little bit, and especially Rogers and LaPrade. Just you probably couldn't slip a piece of paper between them most of the time. Pretty much running nose to tail for most of the race, but And that was just such a fun race here to close out the season. Definitely have to give a huge call there to Zach Rogers for holding on there for the championship. Definitely have to give a call as well to LaPrade and Coleman. Especially LaPrade did a fantastic job in this race, overcoming adversity after getting involved in that accident, and still managed to just finish there right behind that number 6 machine. But just, like I said, just what a race, what a season. Like I said, probably just about as good of a finale as you could ask for to cap off what has been a fantastic season here in Fast.
A fantastic season indeed. And of course, yeah, we'd be remiss if we didn't thank Randall Coleman one more time for putting the deal on. So thank you, Randall. Thank you, Zach, who also put on these streams. And all in all, yeah, just glad to be a part of it. We are down to our 2 final races at Hobo. That will be special because, of course, we pretty much streamed the entire season of that. Yeah, just always glad to be a part of it. Thank you, Caleb, for joining me for this one. We'll definitely get you in for plenty more of these broadcasts. And of course, yeah, I got to send a big shout out to Josh Moyers on a great race there throughout the entire night. But at the end of the day, though, there was one man, Zach Rogers, all season long. He was able to show them how it's done. I'm so sorry for that reference. It's been stuck in my head. It's too much fun. I had to get that in there somewhere. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Thank you to Fast. We will see you all on Tuesday night for Hobo. Until then,